Hey, I'm Roger with Hotmart. Quick question for you. Have you ever heard of Alfred Wallace? No? How about Charles Darwin? Yeah, that's what I thought. Because the reason you've heard of Charles Darwin and not Alfred Wallace is the same reason an online course or any other digital product can be a huge success or an utter failure. The launch. It's all about the launch. I'll explain how Darwin was a launch specialist in a minute, but first I want to show you why your product launch is so important and 3 different launch strategies you'll want to consider before you announce your next digital product to the world. Stick with me, because it's time for another Hotmart tip. So first off, what is a launch anyway? Do you really need to have one, and how can it be the most successful possible? If any of these questions interest you, you're going to want to hit the subscribe button and share this video with a friend who's in the same boat as you. Go ahead, subscribe and share. I'll wait a few seconds. Okay, ready? A launch is when you let the world know that your product is ready for purchase. After all that thinking, planning, and preparing, it's time to show everyone what you have to offer and let them fill their virtual shopping cart with your fantastic product. But how do you do that? Rent out billboard space? Write it in the sky? Send spam emails to everyone's inbox under the sun? No, don't do any of those. This is where your launch strategy comes in. Guys, if you've never sold an online product, I've got an insider secret for you. Launches are huge. It's the topic of books, conferences, and even an industry of businesses that exist only to help people find the best way to get the good word out about a new digital product and past all the noise out there on the internet and to the right people who will want to buy this new product. Maybe you've heard of Jeff Walker and his famous product launch formula. It's so famous that a lot of times it's just referred to as the PLF in the biz. The PLF is something that has become standard, but over time the market has evolved and so have the strategies. That's what I want to share with you. Just 3 of the many different ways to go about a launch. Some of the benefits in choosing one over the other and get you started in the right direction. First, let's talk about the strategy called seed launch. I like seed launches, and I think you will too. As the name suggests, this type of launch is when you've got something small to plan, just an idea for a course, and you want to see if it has the potential to grow into something big. Maybe you've planned your course out, you've been thinking about it for a long time, but don't have the funds or the courage to invest in recording everything and the risk that no one will buy your product when it is ready. So you do a seed launch. You create an offer for what your course or product will be like. Email or get this offer in front of a group of leads. Leads, it's a fancy way to talk about the people who might want to buy your product, and offer what you have to teach broken down into 5 or 6 lessons. Now the key here is to be very clear that this is an exclusive offer for a limited number of people, let's say 20 or 30 people, and that the sessions for the first time course will be released one at a time over a few weeks. Don't invest in paid advertising, don't get overly ambitious about your cash flow. If you're able to sell this idea of your exclusive course that is only in its pilot phase to enough people, you now know that your future online course has a demand and a lot of future potential. You also now have to come through for your exclusive group of buyers and actually create your course. This type of launch is great if you want to test and see if people are really looking to buy the course you've been thinking about creating. It's also great if you've been dragging your feet when it comes to actually making your online course. If people have already bought your exclusive group, you've got to deliver. But let's say that the course you end up creating isn't all that great or what your buyers were looking for. No problem. You and your customers can walk away with both sides risking very little, but with a wealth of lessons learned to use in the future. But if this exclusive first-time course is a hit as a seed launch, you'll know you're onto something. You can now invest in improving your course and use all the great things that your exclusive students have had to say about your course as social proof or testimonials when you launch your course later on a much larger scale. It's a win-win. Next up, let's talk about a more straightforward way to launch a product. It still doesn't involve paid advertising, but that covers most of the steps and terminology that you'll need to know for any type of launch. An internal launch is pretty classic. It involves 3 phases: a pre-launch, a pre-launch, and then the launch. The first phase, the pre-launch, involves building up your list of leads. Remember leads? Those are your potential buyers. Your lead list is how you're going to contact these potential buyers, which is traditionally a list of emails. To build up this list of leads, you usually need to offer a lead magnet. This is usually something that you can offer for free in exchange for the person's contact info. Think about all those free ebooks you've gotten just by entering your email. Once you have a pretty decent list of leads and a product offer that you feel pretty confident about, you can set up your pre-launch content, or PLC. This content will be 4 videos that will work like mini classes. They'll get your leads interested in your product, show that you have authority on the subject, and warm everybody up to the idea of buying your digital product. In fact, it's called warming up your leads. In the first 3 of these mini classes that you've posted on your site, you want to 1, make the leads aware of the problem, 2, let them know there's a solution out there to their problem and you've already helped people with the same problem, 3, give them a sample of something from your course that shows you can solve their problem, and the 4th video will be your sales video. Your leads have grown comfortable with the idea that you can help them and are now ready to invest their money when you come to them with your offer. After walking your leads through the pre-launch content, you'll send them a sequence of emails showing them the testimonials from previous customers, reminders of how your course can help them, and letting them know how much more time they have before your product won't be around anymore. So again, you capture leads with free content, warm them up to the idea of your product being able to help them with a series of videos, then contact them with a sequence of emails clearing up any questions or objections they might still have. Got it? The final type of launch strategy I want to share with you today is one that's become extremely common over the last year: the challenge launch. There's a bunch of different ways you can set a challenge launch up. Tweak things according to your niche and product. The areas you see this type of launch the most are with fitness products, gardening, and personal development. Niches where if you can get someone to practice something for a few minutes a day, they'll see a transformation after a few days or even up to 30 days if you really want to run a challenge that long. The idea is you get your leads to agree to give you their attention for a few minutes every day to accomplish a task related to your product. You can even put them into an online group to give them a feeling of community while they go through their free transformation. If you don't want to set up a group, you can send a daily email with a pre-recorded video. Every day they have a task, like do an exercise or write a certain amount of words, something that is within their reach and will get them one step closer to a micro transformation and excited about the idea that you have a solution to their larger problem. At the end of your challenge, you can let all of your participants know that if they like the last few days and the small taste they've gotten, then they'll love having your product that offers much, much more. So there you have it. 3 pretty cool options for when it comes time to launch your product: seed launches, internal launches, and challenge launches. All of them involve different strategies to warm up your leads to the idea of buying your product. Seeds are great if you haven't created your product yet and want to test the market first. Internal launches are more traditional and good if you have a large list of leads already. And challenge launches are a great way to get people excited about the transformation you can offer them. So, how does this all come into play with our friends Mr. Charles Darwin and Alfred Wallace? Well, 163 years ago, they were separately working on the same product, a theory of evolution. When they heard about each other's work, they decided to unite forces and to shock the scientific world together with a paper that would be released at the Linnean Society meeting in 1858. But the launch was horrible. The story goes that it was a hot night. The meeting went on for way too long. Members of the society were sleeping during the presentation, and get this, Darwin and Wallace couldn't even make it to the presentation. Someone else had to present for them. Later that year, the president of the society announced that unfortunately, no really important scientific discoveries had been made over the last year. In 1859, Darwin regrouped, came up with a better launch strategy to present his ideas, and launched the book, The Origins of Species. And that's why you know the name Charles Darwin and not Alfred Wallace. The same product idea, but one came up with a much better launch strategy. So, do you want your online course to be a Darwin or a Wallace? Choose your launch wisely. If you enjoyed the video, click on the like button and be sure to subscribe to our channel to get more tips on how to grow your online business. Oh, and there's a great blog post where we talk about 4 more ways that you can launch your product. Check it out below and let us know which strategy you like the most in the comments for this video. I hope you learned something from this video, and I hope you and your business are always evolving. I'll see you for the next Hotmart tips.